Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I still set 2 places at the table, though Connor's chair stays empty. Its leather worn where his shoulders press during late nights of brandy and small talk about our tomorrows. 17 years we built this life. Or maybe I built it while he wove secrets into the wallpaper. I can't say when the perfect edges began to peel. At his funeral, my sister Skylar squeezed my hand too tightly, her perfume sharp as deceit. "You're so strong, Darcy," she whispered, voice syrupy sweet. But her eyes darted to my necklace. The sapphire Connor had given me 3 days before his heart gave out. A beautiful stone that seemed heavier now than any diamond. That night, I couldn't sleep. The grandfather clock ticked like a countdown in the hallway. I found myself in Connor's closet, tracing my fingertips along the sleeve of his gray suit. The one he wore on our 10th anniversary, when he promised me forever. Behind a stack of albums, my hand brushed metal. A key, not a house key, too old, its bow wrapped in worn leather like a secret meant to stay hid. I stumbled back, clutching it in my palm until it bit my skin. I heard his voice in my memory. "Don't worry about that place, Darcy. Nothing there but dust and tools. I forbid you to go there." But why hide it? Morning broke with a harsh light that made every corner of our bedroom look like a lie. I found Skylar in the kitchen, who stayed overnight at my place, pouring herself coffee as if she owned the air I breathed. "You're up early," she said, her lips twitching into something like a smile. "I found something," I said. I held up the key. Her eyes narrowed, only for a flicker. Then her face reset, perfectly blank. "Probably nothing, Darcy. You know Connor. Always collecting junk. Why didn't he want me to see it?" She laughed, brittle, forced. "Sisters like us, we're not meant to open every door." But I saw it, the fear she failed to bury. I turned away, the key burning hot in my pocket. That night, I packed a bag, grabbed Connor's old flashlight, and slipped out before dawn. The key was a whisper in my mind. "Open the door, Darcy. See who you really married." I drove toward the edge of town, toward the truth that waited behind a rusted lock. The garage squatted behind the old oak trees like a secret the world had forgotten. Except Connor hadn't. His name was still etched on the side door, faded under peeling paint. I stood there at dawn, the key heavy in my palm. My breath clouded in the cold air, mixing with the fear that hummed at the base of my skull. I almost turned back. Almost, but I needed to know what had been so precious it had to be hidden from me. The key slid in with a reluctant groan. The door cracked open, moaning like an old confession. Dust swirled in the weak sunlight. I stepped inside and froze. It wasn't a garage at all. It was a shrine. Polaroids and photos blanketed every wall, maps marked with pins, handwritten notes and Connor's tidy scrawl. In the center, an old wooden desk sagged under stacks of envelopes. I moved closer, eyes darting across faces that should have been familiar, but weren't. There was Connor, smiling at a young boy with the same stubborn chin. A woman, dark hair, delicate features, her arm around Connor's waist. My heart stuttered. A photo fluttered to the ground. I picked it up. The date on the back made my stomach lurch. He told me he was on a work trip. Instead, he was here, with them. "Mom?" A voice cracked the silence. I spun around, nearly dropping the photo. A young man stood in the doorway, taller than Connor, but with the same eyes. He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. I'm Darcy," I stammered. His face fell. "I know, you're his wife. I'm Stefan, his son." He stepped inside, gaze roaming the walls like they were old friends. "You shouldn't be here." "Then why are you here?" I asked, my voice sharper than I meant. He swallowed. "To see if he left anything for me, or for my mother." He said mother like a curse. "Nadia, she was killed 5 months ago." I felt my knees weaken. "Your mother." He nodded, jaw tight. "You didn't know." "Of course you didn't." He gestured at the shrine. This was his real life, the one you weren't invited to. A tremor of anger pushed through my shock. "Who killed her, Stefan?" His eyes met mine, dark and full of truths I wasn't ready for. "I think your sister knows more than she pretends." The cold metal of the key still pressed into my pocket, but I realized too late. I just unlocked the door to my worst nightmare. A day later, Skylar answered the door in a silk robe, her hair perfectly tousled like she'd stepped out of someone else's bed. The smell of vanilla candles clung to the hallway, almost choking me. "Darcy," she purred, voice dripping honey. "You look awful." "Come in." I pushed past her without asking. Her living room was a chaos of wine glasses and expensive throw blankets. She followed, arms crossed, lips curled. "You've been busy, haven't you?" I snapped. "Connor's secret family, the garage, you knew." Skylar's smile didn't flicker. She poured herself a drink, slow and deliberate. "Darcy, you were always so neat, so content in your perfect marriage. Connor needed options." I felt the sting like a slap. "He was my husband, Sky." "And my lover," she spat back, eyes glinting. "I am expecting his child. He said you wouldn't understand. He told me everything. About Nadia, Stefan, all of it. He came to me when he needed to breathe." My stomach twisted. "Nadia's dead. Did you know that?" She shrugged, too casual. "Poor thing, she should have stayed quiet." Rage flared, hot and sudden. "Did you have anything to do with it?" Skylar's face hardened. She set down her glass with a click. "I didn't have to. Nadia was greedy. She threatened to go public with Connor's business. His money. Everything. She got what she deserved." My hands shook. "And now you're pregnant with his child? His betrayal wasn't enough?" Skylar laughed then. A sharp, brittle sound. "You think you were special? You were his routine, Darcy. I was his freedom." I stepped closer, my voice a low hiss. "You think you've won? You think that child will fix what you broke?" Skylar leaned in until her perfume made me sick. "It already has. You'll walk away like you always do. But me? I'll have a piece of him forever." The words lodged like glass in my throat. I turned for the door, rage and betrayal pounding in my ears. Our parting shot followed me into the hallway. "Some secrets keep us alive, Darcy. Some destroy us. Careful which you choose." I didn't look back. She was right about one thing. This secret would destroy someone. I sat at my dining table, Connor's sapphire necklace heavy in my palm. The last thing he gave me, draped over my collarbone like an apology. Stefan paced the kitchen, eyes darting to the boxes of files we dragged from the garage shrine. His mother's name, Nadia, felt carved into every page. "Try the clasp again," he urged. I turned the tiny jewel over, fingers trembling until they found a hidden notch behind the stone. I twisted it left, a soft click, and a microchip slid out like a ghost. Stefan sucked in a breath. He hid a digital key, all this time. Together, we plugged it into my laptop. "Password required." Connor's voice echoed in my head. "For us, always." I typed always. The files unlocked like a wound bursting open. Transaction records, shell companies, offshore accounts and names I'd never heard, and names I knew all too well. He was laundering money for them. I whispered. "And hiding it from Skylar," Stefan added, jaw tight. "Look here, payments to a private investigator." He knew she was blackmailing him. I scrolled, nausea rising. There were photos of Skylar meeting men in suits and emails from Nadia, begging Connor to come clean. "She threatened to expose him," I murmured. Stefan slammed his fist on the counter. "And now she's dead. And Skylar's playing his wife's grieving sister. My mother didn't deserve this." I blinked back tears. "Neither did you. Or me." Among the files was a single video file. My finger hovered, then clicked. Connor's face flickered to life, gaunt and tired. "Darcy, if you're watching this, I'm gone. Nadia found out too much. Skylar's dangerous. She won't stop until she gets everything. The necklace. It's your insurance. Don't trust anyone. Protect yourself. Protect Stefan. And if you have to burn me to the ground to survive, do it." My throat tightened. "What now?" Stefan asked. I shut the laptop, steel settling into my bones. "Now we use this. And we decide who burns." Outside, the wind rattled the windows. The truth had claws, and Skylar had no idea I'd just grown my hump. I stood in the driveway at dawn, the house behind me feeling like a mausoleum. Stefan lifted the last box into my car, his eyes softer now. "You really going through with it?" he asked. I nodded, clutching the flash drive with Connor's secrets, my last shield. "Skylar can keep the ashes. I'm done living in the graveyard he built." Stefan gave a half smile. "And me. You live too, away from this rot." I pressed the drive into his hand. One copy for you, one for me. If they ever come for us, we bury them with it. He hugged me, quick and tight. Be safe, Darcy. I drove away without looking back. Past the cracked mailbox, the garage still padlocked, the windows that had watched my perfect lie. At the state line, I pulled over, took Connor's wedding band from my pocket, and dropped it into the river below. It hit the water without a sound, like he'd never existed at all. I whispered, "Goodbye, Connor. Goodbye, Skylar. Goodbye to the woman who let you ruin her." When I crossed into Nebraska, my name was different. My life was mine. And this time, no locked door would ever keep me out. Now I have regained my peace of mind after betrayal and deception.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.